Yeah, welcome back to the show. You're watching Orion Football Special with me, Engineer Mohammed Benson Bawa, alongside Mohammed Jawad Nyale, chief sports writer, political newspaper. Like I mentioned earlier, football in Sierra Leone, they play physically, as sports generally has been banned by the government of Sierra Leone through the Ministry of Sport. We mean say the role leader not the role anymore. However, football really they play behind the scene, as the football secretariat is being used as the launch pad for NACOVAC for ensure that the fight COVID-19 for come to an end as Sierra Leone will give an opportunity for go back to normal ways, of course, play football and see the likes of Bo Rangers entertain their fans, Cambo Eagles, Canada Stars, the Bavarians, FC Cologne, Easter Lions, Mighty Blackpool, to name but a few, including Edwards. No, unless somebody tell me, say, why you not call me Team Edwards? Well, for City Council, you've been mentioned. Anti-drugs, you've been mentioned. Central Parade, of course, you've been mentioned. Who else have I not mentioned? Please pardon me. Mighty Blackpool, all have been mentioned. So they all get an opportunity for play again. And for sure, when it comes to the military implication, no army can fight well without a base. The Football Secretariat has been used as a base, for ensure that we fight the COVID-19. Orange Football Special and Orange go beyond the scene for and see exactly how impactful the Secretariat has been to the fight against COVID-19. Follow this.
Sibina Abdul Karim Touye, Deputy Logistics Lead. And this actually used to be the football gym, academy gym. And now the risk communication pillar sits in this building. Let's see what's in there. Normally this is the gym, football gym parlor, and now sits the risk communication team. So we've transformed this so that the team can sit here and then actually do their work and help fight the COVID-19. Training and admin manager for the SLFA. It now sits the risk communication risk communication and health education manager, Mr. Harold Thomas. As I was saying, what's been there before in the SLFA setup, that was their administrative building, the first one, and that was the training building, and this building right behind me, the hostels. Okay. In our setup, this building, because it sits the administrative wing and the national coordinator and all other pillar leads, this is my administrative building. This is the COVID-19's administrative building, which sits the national coordinator and the technical leads of every pillar. So for me, this is my administrative building, and that is my case management building. Okay. So let's go inside and see what it looks like now. Okay. All right. By setup, this building has 3 floors. All right. The ground floor has 4 rooms, which sits basically the logistics and the IPC, which we call Infection Prevention and Control Team, and also sits the Public Information and Social Mobilization Advisors. These are 2 State House appointees who are here to help advise the Public Information and Social Mobilization pillar so that the messages that go out there actually gets the dividend we expect them to get. All right? So I'll show you their rooms as well. Case management pillar. This room used to be a classroom for SLFA. This is where they do their theory before they go to field and do practical. So this is a case management pillar. Before now, this used to be classroom for SLFA. This we don't transform into a whole pillar responsible for the medical issues and quarantine and getting people back to zero. All of those are managed within this room. These are doctors and all first-line responders sitting here. One important pillar that sits here is the situation room pillar. This is the pillar responsible for real-time observation of every activities around the COVID-19. So they have representatives in this room for every pillar. Every section is being represented here so that they can, in real time, respond to activities as and when they occur.
I'm here as Deputy Director in the National Situation Room. Of course, before this time, my substantive position as Director for the National Disaster Management Department and the Office of National Security. A strong relationship between the work we do at ONS and what happen at country level. Don't make I don't there for serve in this capacity as Deputy Director at the National Situation Room. Our responsibility here, I will make sure say we deal with data and ensure say we develop a national picture for everybody to see within the fight we government undertake in the fight against the coronavirus disease. We don't ravage many areas around the world. In this part of the country in Australia, we will tell God thank you. And we appreciate government for the effort provided so far. At the outset of this struggle against coronavirus disease. We'll begin this fight at the EOC, at the Public Health Emergency Center, at Cochrane. But we find out the place being very tight. We are jam-packed. And because of some requirement medically in terms of social distancing, IPC, infection prevention and control, we find out a need being there for law look for an alternative. Outside this mass of people within the work can be deployed effectively and ensure the requisite social distancing will be observed for make sure we're able for leverage with professional ability in the fight against the disease. And obviously, with time, we're able to identify this edifice, the Sierra Leone Football Administration facility. We can make a tour of this facility and we'll find out a tour, a place we can able to provide all of us with inside the response, beginning from the strategic management of the response down to the tactical, some of the ones at the tactical level and operational level for fight against the disease. We've been here now for quite a while, and since we come, we find out the environment is very appreciable. The one that we work with, as you can see, we got over 20 staff inside this particular room. We don't make sure we're able for 50 staff into this room as a result of the application and adjustment in terms of working station for ensure we're able to deliver. So far, it has been good, and everybody seems to be quite amicable in the dispensation of the responsibility in the fight against the coronavirus disease. Absolutely. This is like where you get a base. You get a number of soldiers where they fight, they get a base inside and they go for meet, for able to do a launching pad against the enemies. This kind of place is providing this kind of base for all of us. Because now from here, we're able to strategize, for ensure we engage the district level structures in all the 16 administrative districts of the country, and to make sure we're able to deliver effectively. This is a place also we're able to engage all the journalists on a daily basis, every 11 o'clock. This is not the base. Also, we make sure we're able to do planning and ensure those plans are executed across the country.
This is Solomon Jamiru, the spokesperson for National COVID-19 Emergency Response Center. I take the opportunity to express sincere thanks and appreciation to the Sierra Leone Football Academy for putting at our disposal this excellent facility. I can recall once I was appointed as spokesperson for the COVID-19 Emergency Response Center, we were operating from the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center at Cochrane, Wilkinson Road. I realized how tiny my very office was. As a matter of fact, I was sharing a very tiny space with two other persons. One is the risk communication lead, Harold Thomas, and another person. You could see from the operations within the facility that it was difficult for us to even observe and maintain social distancing. We had to be bumping into one another, and that was not healthy enough. Now that we have relocated to the grounds of the Sierra Leone Football Academy at King Tom, I can see a lot of ambience. I can see that we've been able to have a lot of liberty to do what we have to do. We are benefiting from the luxury of space. The different pillar leads are operating from different facets of the facility, and I think this has in substantial part helped us in cushioning the effect and perhaps even addressing the accommodation needs. But I'm also aware that should it be the case, I think that the SLFA should also start favorably considering to putting at our disposal perhaps some other facets of this building, if that wouldn't amount to asking for an arm and a leg. I say so because we still have quite a good number of operations, but I think that space limitation is one. But I think this has been an excellent facility. When we were at the EOC, I never had an office designated purely for the spokesperson. But here at King Tom, I mean, you could see this is my office, and I'm sure other leaderships as well, other pillar heads are also having their own offices. We also have a little conference room that we use. So I think that the narrative has changed, and this has helped us in terms of delivery, in terms of measures against COVID-19, and I think this has been a very timely intervention. It's just unfortunate that now we are not playing football. The Premier League had revitalized, and we saw a lot of Sierra Leoneans getting to the pitch to watch football, getting to the stadium to watch football. And I think that the sports sector is one of the areas that has suffered in great deal from COVID-19. So we're trying to slow the spread. We're trying to break this chain of transmission, and hopefully we should be able to beat this COVID-19 and get back to our lives as usual. But I would say on behalf of NACOVAC that SLFA has been extremely kind to us by graciously putting at our disposal this excellent facility, and I can proudly say it has helped us in a great deal to provide the responses that we have to do within the context of our fight against SARS coronavirus 2.
I don't have words enough to express how we feel. You know, the EOC Cockery was actually like a danger zone. When you look at the congestion, people moving here and there, and at some point we started getting some positive cases. I think we got like 2 positive cases, you know. So the coordinator thought it fit that we should move, because imagine, like, we were occupying our office, about 7 of us in a very small office. That wasn't conducive enough. We had a lot of problems, you know, managing even the chairs. But now we are very comfortable, as you can see. You know, sometimes we have, if we have meetings, for example, we go virtual. I will sit in my office, I will just turn my television, and then I'm linked up in that meeting, and then we have fruitful discussion. But for EOC, it was really, really, you know, very difficult, thinking about the infection rate and the influx of people into that EOC was really very dangerous. But now, since we came here, we've not got any positive case.
On behalf of His Excellency the President and the interim National Coordinator, I would like to thank you, and all of us would like to thank SLAFA for what they've actually done for us, because it has been very challenging for us to actually see how best we can actually get this fight of Corona to the maximum level. Because when we were actually at Wilkinson Road, the EOC at Wilkinson Road was very small. Even myself, as the head of ICT, I didn't even have an office. I used to just float around, which I believe was very, very dangerous, because knowing that so many people will come and see you without an office, that can be very, very challenging, because you don't know who had the virus or not. But now that we've actually moved in here to SLAFA, a modernized building, we are very, very, very happy about it. We're very comfortable, and now we can actually take this fight to the maximum level, because we're very comfortable. All the buildings, our cars, everything is very comfortable. So we think, and not just think, we actually know that having this building has made a very, very big difference in the fight for coronavirus in Sierra Leone.
First and foremost, I think as part of the strategic planning team of the National COVID Response Center, we want to extend with profound thanks and appreciation to SLAFA for them make this facility available to me. Like they say, Corona now we all fit. SLAFA coming in a timely manner for giving office space where we need. Because we have been here Wilkinson, of course, you know, see the place tight, and we so cool, and we reach social distancing. So we really appreciate this structure, and of course, we get accommodation for work together for able to fight this Corona effect. Okay. We cannot be more appreciative than this. Thank you very much.
Alright, this actually used to be the kitchen by design, but for now, logistics has turned this kitchen into a store. So, as you can see, we've redesigned the kitchen that used to serve the hostels into a stationery and equipment store. Like I showed you the kitchen, we just turned that kitchen into a store. This is the cafeteria, which we've turned to a logistics team room. This is where the support staff sits, and this is where they give us support so that we actually meet the day-to-day activities of the COVID response team. Yeah. Let me start by saying thank you to the SLFA in the first place for letting us use their facility. I think they've done a tremendous job in doing that. But as we have seen after the tour, we still actually not achieve all what we wanted, the full deployment we want for our staff. Because like you mentioned earlier, this COVID-19 response is an autonomous one. We get additions coming as we go. We got designs, we alter designs, and then the staff structure, they increase. So when we came here earlier, first, it was adequate, but as we go along, we've been adding departments, which makes it inadequate now as we go. So which is why by the time we finish this interview, I'll get you to learn why we need additional space, which we'll be making to the SLFA. Social distancing comes a lot, and it will be a defeat on our side if for some reason we have people who are frontline workers coming here and they are probably become primary contact, which means if they are primary contact, we'll have to isolate. So if we have to isolate a whole technical department because of we are not observing enough social distancing, you know how that will negatively impact the fight against the COVID-19. So which is why we would be actually going back to the SLFA to ask for additional space. Other places we were looking at was special court, because you know during the Ebola, the special court was influential in using their premise for that. But then the Football Association actually came on their own and said, look, we are not playing football now. Our offices, our premises, the football academy is there. So let's look at it and see if we can offer you some spaces there. And when the coordinator and his team came, and they liked what they saw initially, and yes, 2 buildings were offered. So once we start doing the rehabilitation to suit our purpose, and the occupancy became actualized, then we realized we actually need for expand the additional rooms which were not actually in the original plan. And they accepted in the first place. But like I said, we are an autonomous group, and then the team has been expanding since. Look, I'm a football fan myself. I'm a big football fan, both locally and internationally. And I know what's happening in the international scene, and then it's a pity football cannot go on in an environment like this. But like we've all seen from the European countries and elsewhere in the world, they had to put safety of the people and the lives of the footballer first. So this is why if football is not playing now, the president, Madam Aisha Johanshin, and her team thought it fit to use the facility for COVID. I've seen this done. I've seen big teams in Europe giving the stadiums, the whole stadiums to COVID-19 response. So I think it's a step in the right direction. There is always an exit plan which will come from the government. Okay, but in my experience and what I've learned, whatever we've affixed here is going to stay here. And I'm sure the policy going forward will be as much to leave as much as much furniture and as much equipment and fittings as possible. There's a general tendency with fittings, once they are fixed, you cannot remove. So I'm sure we will be adhering to all those rules and regulations.